was this topic always comes up, and it's kind of stayed lodged in the back of my head. It's a conclusion that I came up with myself. It was an observation that I had made myself, and I remember being very young, at a very, very young age. I mean, very. And I never liked Disney movies. I never liked... to be honest, I rarely even liked cartoons. I was always more into gangster movies. I was more into adult films. Not porn. Although I was watching, porn. I'm fucking Gen Z. We're all fucked up now. But, you know what I mean? Like, the Scar. I was more interested in, like, mobster movies. But I remember something that always stuck out like a sore thumb as an observation since I've been a very, very young child is oh man, it's so funny. It's how television shows and movies portray, I'll say, simpery. Like how shows like How I Met Your Mother, how shows like Friends, any television show or movie that has to do with the group of friends, right? Any social setting, they'll always have the same friend groups. They'll always have the same theme, right? You have the fucking simp guy who probably has 2 other buddies, and then there's a girl in the mix that one of the buddies ends up simping over for, and then she gets passed around like a fucking hoe. You will see this theme over and over and over again, and this is done on purpose because television shows and movies are obviously meant to program the psyche of the masses, more specifically into the psyche of the female brain, because a more feminine mind is more prone to this programming than a masculine one. But even then, it still works on very feminine men. But you're going to see this theme over and over again, and this sort of programming is very, very intentional. This programming is to get you to be comfortable with... It's to get you comfortable with being in a state of mediocrity with a group of other people in the same state of mediocrity, and sexify it and glorify it and show the beauty of what it's like being a fucking broke nobody. Classic, oh, we're just a bunch of young guys, we hit a cafe and then we hit a bar. Like, they're gonna shove that down your brain. And if you've had the same observation, if you're able to see through what they're trying to drill into your head, what they're trying to instill in your psyche, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't caught this, well, you're welcome. There you go. You will never be able to unsee it now. Any television show, what's the genre called? Like, I don't know what the genre of How I Met Your Mother or Friends or The Office. Basically, we'll say like, let me see, kind of like, I don't know what the fuck the genre is, but you guys know exactly what I'm saying. It's like that type of show. Like in The Office, Jim and Pam. How, even then, I'm going to rewatch these shows with my new, with the different type of glasses on, and just observe the type of shit that they try to instill in the masses. But you know, these same cliche fucking social circles. And this is very, very intentional. You know, don't smack that away from you. Do not succumb to this mediocrity. I do believe there is a reason why I believe a lot of young men. I mean, I can't be the only one who has these same sentiments, but I feel like a lot of young men, we watch these gangster movies, or we watch, you know, superhero movies because we want it to be, you know, more. We want it to have power. You know, we wanted to be above mediocrity. We wanted to be strong, to be different, to be more. And now there's very little of that. I've heard other people talk about this, but there's very little of you know, these He-Man figures. There's very little of these, you know, like Conan. There's very little of that type of the archetype of the ruler. But I'm telling you, it's okay, especially if you're a young guy. That's normal. You're supposed to want that. And that's the reason why they show you these fucking simp-ass characters. They want mediocre, content, comfortable, normie men. They don't want a man to have power. They don't want you to make a name for yourself. And I do believe that's why, from a very, very young age, for some reason, those gangster movies, they would always just call out to me. Although I've never, you know, done anything like that. It wasn't necessarily the fact that in the gangster movies they were doing crimes. No, it was that sense of brotherhood. I believe that's what men seek after. We seek after a brotherhood. We seek after a community. You know what I mean? Of being with a group of other men, of like-minded men, to, you know, go get the kill, bring it back, and, you know, break bread. There's something instilled in us that we yearn for in today's society that we don't get. But you can, if, let's say, you start a business venture and you partner with somebody. Well, not partner, but you yourself. But you going in the deep end with that business venture, you will meet other like-minded men. You know what I mean? And you have dinners and lunches with them. That type of shit. We like that type of stuff, and I believe that's why they try to show us these weak archetypes of men. Weak, complacent, comfortable, mediocre, Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, just lames, right? Like the Randy Marshall of South Park. That's what they want. They don't want you to be, I believe Nietzsche calls it the overman, right? They don't want you to be like the overman. But most people themselves also don't want to be great, so I'll disagree. I believe most do, but most aren't willing to do what it takes to become great. They're not willing to you know, sacrifice weekends. They're not willing to sacrifice time with their family and friends and really lock in. But yeah, that's just an observation I wanted to share. That's an observation I've had since I was very, very young. And obviously, I've heard other people talk about this, but that was just like my observation when I was very young. And then it was just funny growing up, and then you see like the red pill spaces and all that, and they kind of talk about like the feminization of men, but I never really saw it as the feminization of men, although I will agree that is what it is. But I always saw it as just like these comfortable, mediocre, average grade men that they put as the protagonist, and they make for very, very weak protagonists, and they really romanticize being a great man. saying be vain and, you know, be a materialist and all that. Obviously, there's more to life than just, you know, collecting material wealth. Like, we gotta fucking eat, we need clothes, you know, we need shelter. Like, you can't disregard the importance of money. So I'm not saying that material wealth is everything, but it sure is a damn good 50%. Like, let's not beat around the bush here. It's a damn good 50%. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a humble man, but there's a difference between humbleness and mediocreness. There's a difference between gratefulness and mediocrity. There's a difference between being content yet ambitious and complacent and satisfied. There's a huge difference. Do not get it twisted. There's huge. So a lot of people like to, you know, take things to extreme. No. It's a balance. But from the top down, they're gonna push being the gray man. They're gonna push you being below normal. They're gonna push you to be a fucking loser. They're pushing you to be the simp. They're pushing you to be comfortable with the guy who simps over the fucking girl in the friend group. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're instilling in you. And this has helped me so much in my younger life. I'm still young, but I mean younger, like in school and shit. That anytime, and perhaps this is just antisocial, right? Which I very much was. But nonetheless, I'm very grateful for this trait, because anytime that I felt like I was falling into a How I Met Your Mother group, or anytime I kind of saw that in the classroom, or even, you know, just in social settings, I knew to swat that away like a fly. Like, no, I will not fall in, I will not succumb to that. I know what's going on here. I'm not gonna be no fucking simp. Like, hell no. Like, I saw through the programming already. Like, you can't fool me. So if you're in school and you see something similar to what I'm talking about, yeah, you're welcome. Don't fucking fall for it. I would much rather be have been the antisocial I was than succumb to this whole How I Met Your Mother, Friends, fucking The Office, you know, gym, simp. Fuck that, man. Fuck that. You're not gonna get me. And they're never gonna get me. You know, there's so much more different type of programming as you step into adulthood. I mean, for fuck's sake, that's one of them. But I'm saying you can apply this to a younger audience or an older, and the older will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, that's it for today's video.